Okay, we're back about 20 minutes later or something, and I just wanted to show you this plant real quick because it clearly lost its mojo in the brief time it was over here. It was, I don't know, maybe about a foot from the iPad right there. And so it might have been the fact that it was so close to the EMS from the iPad. Maybe it was deprived from its light source. I'm not sure what happened here. Like again, say I don't know the cause, but we know that it's drooping now. We know that it's drooping a lot more than it was before, and what needs to happen, the plant needs to perk up. So we know what needs to happen. We don't know necessarily what caused it, but I was talking about EMFs before, and so maybe that happened. So it was doing perfectly fine by the window before. It drooped initially after I cut it, and then it perked up when I put it in some water. What I'm hoping for is that each one of these plants will grow roots, and then I'll be able to pop them in the ground individually. It's a lot faster than starting from seed. So I don't know for sure. I've never tried it with this plant before, but if it does work, it's a really nice way to do it. Really cool way. It shows how adaptive life is. I'm going to put this back where it was before. I'll keep talking while I'm walking, and I'll show you another little thing too. This one individual leaf right here, it's from a, what are those plants called? Philodendron. Now this leaf right here, you can see clearly has two roots on the bottom. So this one plant right here, this one leaf was able to survive. I think it's been in this container for like 3 months now, but it grew roots. So now I can pop this in the soil and it'll be fine. So I have a couple philodendrons in the house that are doing fantastically well. One has gotten all the way down to the floor now. It's about 4 feet after a couple of years, and the other one's doing fantastic too. So I get into my plants. And obviously plants are a source of endless metaphors for the awakening process and salvation and all that kind of stuff. So if you haven't seen the movie Being There, see it. It's a great gardening metaphor movie about awakening and salvation and all this stuff. I don't know how many years ago it was. If it was 80s, 90s, but fantastic movie. And wow, are we ever in a different place now in 2017 than we were back in the 90s? This whole idea of this experience of life has completely crumbled, is completely shattered, such that we know that a greater reality is possible for us. We know that spending 40 hours a week doing some idiot job that's not contributing to moving forward in the right direction of salvation is just about completely intolerable for us right now. We want to be using our energy, and if you're like me and your energy's been sapped, if your adrenals are under fire, under fatigue, you know damn well that you have to budget your energy intelligently and that you have to use your energy wisely. And if you're going to use your energy for anything at all, it better be to be able to get some relief. I've written about this a ton, about relief, how important relief is, and how the people that want the relief the most are the ones who are probably going to be the ones taking the action the most. The ones that are in their minds, they're still fumbling around with theories and different kinds of things, are probably not going to be spurred to action nearly as quickly as the ones who really, truly desire, need relief. Say, this is fucking too much. I need some relief, damn it, now, soon. I can't make any promises, obviously. The thing about the group work, thing about the vision, is that we can get relief pretty soon. I mean, can we allow 100 days? Can we allow 30 days? Can we allow a certain amount of time? Can we allow a certain practice which is not going to be too draining? Can we add that to our lives? Because salvation really is about addition more than anything. It's not about subtraction. So I'm not into you micromanaging your life. I'm not here to give you any kind of tips on how to micromanage your life. I ain't got my own damn life here figured out. I still struggle here constantly with how to just take care of things on a day-to-day basis. I'm fully cognizant of that. I'd be completely insane if I were offering you tips on how to manage your life on a day-to-day basis. I ain't got it. I can maybe offer you a thing or two here and there, but for the most part, I recognize that I don't have that, and I can't give to you what I don't have. But I do recognize fully the power of relationships and how healing relationships can be. And you know that from your experience too, that relationships are the most important thing in your life. I was watching a movie the other day about these very old people. And I think they were all over 100. And so I was interviewing all these different old people. And I was watching this other movie about people that were very close to death. Maybe not, they weren't quite 100. One, in fact, was a child with cancer. And in each and every case, the most important thing in these people's lives was the relationships that they had. So that's like square one. It's the most basic thing. I think I've mentioned this before. Our consciousness is the most basic fact of existence, but really coupled with that is relationship. It's almost not even separate. It's so intimately interwoven with consciousness that it's almost one and the same thing. Consciousness, though, is the most primary element of life, and then like literally like a trillionth of a second later, it's relationship. They're so smeared together like peanut butter and jelly or something that they cannot come apart. They're so intimately interwoven. So we have to understand that consciousness is the most basic, is the most primary thing in life. However, relationships is where we can actually alter consciousness more than anything. So there's all sorts of means that we can use to alter our consciousness, but relationships by far is the most powerful one, and that's why I'm using it. Communication, again, is the tool of relationships. So communication is the action of relating. It's the ball bouncing back and forth between us in relating, if you want a visual analogy. So I had that, okay, I already did the plant thing. Yeah, okay, I showed how the dill or the Coreopsis wilted. This right here is a dogwood, and I managed to position it without giving too much thought, such that you wouldn't see the dead parts of the flowers. There's like little brown tips on some of them. But this is a flowering dogwood tree, and I think most of them flower. And so my wife cut off some of the flowers and brought them in the house, and so I'm just adding a little ambiance. I've got a little bling here too, and I do that partially so I won't get confused about the videos. This one stands apart from the next one because we're changing the ambiance. If I'm not going to move to a different part of the house, I'm going to change the ambiance a little bit, because that's important to me. Being a creative soul, I like to keep things different. I like to keep things fresh and new all the time. What's most beneficial to us as souls is to constantly be experiencing new things, new phenomena, to constantly have new experiences. I was talking to my massage therapist this morning about how sugar is going to be the next health food. Now she was like, no, sugar's not going to, I was like, well, fat was out for a while, and eggs were out, coconut oil was out, chocolate or cacao was out. See the difference between you talk to one person, chocolate's healthy, talk to another person, chocolate is unhealthy. Talking about two different things. Clarity, very important. Subtext to that thought. But sugar is going to be the next big thing. Now, she was not able to quite buy this. She was like, no, sugar's too addictive. But the context is everything. Ew, that's a nice one. We're going to come back to that very often, is context is everything in terms of salvation, in terms of anything. It's like, what is the larger framework for this? Why am I doing this? In the context of what? What's the end goal of this? Another way to say it. But sugar, I said, is going to be probably the next thing in life. But I told her, obviously we have these experiences where you eat like a piece of candy corn and you're like, ugh, that's disgusting. Maybe when I was a kid, I enjoyed a few pieces of candy corn, but for the most part, sugar in its generic forms is disgusting, and it's not appealing to anybody with developed taste buds. But what is appealing, let me draw you another picture. Okay, you wake up in the morning and you have a day filled with joyous work where you're going bouncing around here to there doing all kinds of work. Oh, I can't wait to get to work. Work is such an important topic to talk about, and I hope I can get my neurons firing the right way for that one. But you have a day filled with productive work, productive relationships, and at the end of the day, you decide to go for a little walk on the beach, say, and there's a little gelato stand. You get a little cup of gelato, and you get 3 different little flavors of little balls of gelato. You get rum raisin, you get pistachio, and you get vanilla. You know how good vanilla can be? Sometimes vanilla is regarded as kind of plain Jane, the base flavor, and everything else just is added to vanilla. But vanilla, very good vanilla, is not just vanilla. Very good vanilla is amazing. I don't know if you've ever had some really, really good vanilla ice cream. It is friggin' amazing. But that's the context that we can give to sugar. So we gave sugar a different context. So in that right space where your body's ready to just say yes for sugar, sugar's good. And sugar's going to come back just the way I'm saying it right now. It will come back. Will be a health food, but sugar is going to be healthy if it's got the right energy, the right inputs that go into making the sugar, go into making the full product. And then your body's ready for it, says yes, and then the sugar becomes healthy.